Okay, so a lot has happened in the past few days since I last saw you, and I did not have the camera running, but I want to walk you around and show you what I've done. So in the past few days I have finished the deck to include the lights. So this is the Trex deck. So it was, as you saw, it was previously framed. Then we started putting the Trex boards on there, and they're spaced out 1/4 of an inch. We have a tiny little bit, a couple things we need to do on this thing, but it turned out pretty nice. Check that out. So what we've got is we cleared out the rock, so we have some stuff down here that we need to take care of as far as some landscape fabric. So the entire thing underneath this deck is covered in landscape fabric, and then we threw the rocks back over the top of that to hold it down. So that'll inhibit some of the weed growth from coming through this deck if the weeds decide that they want to grow underneath this deck. So we don't get a whole lot of rain here in Tucson, but the rain that we do get seems to go straight to the weeds and nothing else. So there's a little bit of cleanup we have to do this thing still. We have some water marks and some stuff like that we can go ahead and spray this down and get this done. Now what we did is we threw our lighting in, and I'm gonna go ahead and take some video of the lighting just a little bit later and show you kind of how we did that before the sun goes down. But we put lighting in the deck right here, 2 on each side, so we have 8 lights just for the deck. Now here's the cool part. We decided to go with all LED lighting here, and we did a 120 watt transformer that we just quickly wired up here. And we're going to keep this plugged in back here by the pool equipment, and it has a light sensor right here. This thing will come on when the sun goes down enough. It's going to go click, and we have it set up for automatic, and the lights stay on until the sun comes up in the morning and it shuts back down. Now we have this thing coming out 2 different ways. It comes out and it goes that way, and then the other one comes out and it goes that way. So what we've done, the first one, we have just a temporary spotlight right here that's going to shine right up that way, and it illuminates that palm tree really pretty well. Now the other one, kind of these modern looking lights that Shannon picked out, there they are. It's cool. And if you look underneath, there's the light underneath, and it's just they're metal. Now we have not put them in the ground completely yet. This is kind of where we're going to be running these wires. We're going to try to keep them close to the pool, and we going to have one on the corner here, and then that corner, and then we're going to have 3 more. There's one by that rock, one in that corner, and there's going to be one on that corner. And then, and this is neat, you're going to see this here in just a little bit when these lights come on. Each one of the trellises have a spotlight that shines a big U on those trellises. It's pretty cool. So we got special lights for the spotlights for these trellises that shoot a 70 degree wide, I guess the field of view, or the shine is 70 degrees wide. So it draws a U from this pillar all the way down to the top of that pillar. Pretty cool. Now here's what's even cooler. Yesterday I spent a little bit of time at the metal yard. I think it was Tucson Iron and Metal, and I bought all of the framing material for our new shed. This is heavy stuff. It is 14 gauge and 11 gauge steel, and this is what we're going to build the entire structure out of. So it's good stuff. It's heavy. It is sharp as all get out right now because they cut these things to length for us. They're heavy. They're heavy. So we have this thing being framed here in the next few days. We need to go buy a door and we need to buy a window. So this right here is going to be a 6-foot French door out swinging, and right here on this wall is going to be a big picture window that's not going to open. It's just going to be a window. It's going to look out over the palm tree and look out over the water. Now, oh, that's one more thing we did. I apologize. I'm really sorry that I didn't have the camera running. I should have. You are right. I should have. Now, we have this finished as well. So I finished the top of the wall. It doesn't look pretty, but it is functional. Now, let me put this down. Hold up for just a second. I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna take this off because this will not be here anymore. This is not gonna live here. Okay. So, if I pull this piece off right here, you can see what I did inside here. Okay, I finished the plumbing. So the plumbing is gonna be with this 2-inch valve, and now when I turn this, it turns. Before it wouldn't turn, it was stuck. So now we've turned this, the water's gonna come through here, hit that T, and it's gonna go out into the water feature, and it's really cool. I put the hose in here the other day and turned it on, and the water was spilling out beautifully into the pool right down there. And it was awesome. Now, tomorrow, if everything is correct on the purchase that I made, I bought the 2 fire features, which are going to go here and here. And then we're going to have these things coming out on a propane line, which when we want to use it, we'll hook it up, we'll put the propane tank back here, and it's going to have 2 big fire features built into this, and we may do penny tile down here. So that's that small tile that comes in sheets. It's about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch round, and a ton of grout, but it looks pretty nice when you get it all done. So we may do penny tile on top of that and around the back. So that's where we are right now. It really hasn't been that exciting. It's just been a lot of stuff that we've finished, but it's not super exciting work. Now, one of the things that we are going to do, if you notice, I have 2 tons of sand sitting right here. That 2 tons of sand is going to be used all through here. I'm going to start laying travertine back here soon, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, probably tomorrow. And then once we get that finished, then we're gonna go ahead and start working on the framing for the shed. And we are gonna finish the fire feature stuff. Hopefully if that comes in, we can start that tomorrow as well. But, oh, you know what else we're gonna do? This is really neat. We are going to pour the seating for the fireplace. We're gonna tint countertop mix. So there's a special concrete mix, I guess. It doesn't have a lot of aggregate in it, and it's pretty smooth. We watched a video the other day, and it looked like pancake batter when they poured it in, when they poured the countertops. We are going to tint that charcoal gray. That's going to be pretty close to the color of our deck here, and that's what is going to be the seating and the hearth material for the fireplace. I think it's going to look nice. Shannon thinks it's going to look nice. And as long as Shannon thinks it's going to look nice, then we are good to go. So that will hopefully take place in the next couple weeks. I'm hoping in one of the soon to upcoming episodes that you watch, you're going to be able to see that. And we still need to go out the pool and then clean it. That hasn't been that long since we saw me last. So there's the update. That's all we've done. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot probably to other people than it does to me. When I look at it, I don't see the progress as much because I'm back here all the time. And I see it constantly, and I'm working on it constantly, that I don't see the progress as much as when I go back and look at the progress pictures from, say, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Then I see the major differences in what we've built, and I see the progress a little bit more when that happens. So, but that's where we are. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to keep the camera on tomorrow. I'm going to be laying some travertine. I do need to do some cuts. Now, Shannon wanted, this is kind of neat, she wanted so this whole thing is going to be travertine. So it's going to come across, it's going to go around that post, it's going to come this way, and then it's going to be close to that blue line. You can see that snap line that runs basically to the front edge of the fireplace down there. Now, what I need to do, because there's going to be a piece of travertine basically like this running down, I need to cut this out. So all this flagstone is going to be coming out from the existing patio all the way down to the fireplace. It's all going to come out, and then that way I'll be able to run my mortar bed underneath the edge travertine pieces, holding them in place. That's where I got to go now. So I'm going to do some cutting, and I got to remove all this flagstone before I can lay the travertine. Not fun, but necessary. So I get to use my trusty diamond blade. All right. So wish me luck. I hope you enjoy what you're watching. I hope you can leave some fun comments for me and let me know what you think. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. And if you've got something to share with regard to maybe something you guys have built, some DIY projects you've done, share them with us. We'd love to see what you got going on, what you're building, how successful you've been, and how much fun you've had. We love the DIY stuff, and it is so rewarding, especially when you get done. So share what you got. Love to hear from you. Until next time, happy building, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Gotta plug it in. Did you see that? Did you see that? Okay. Case in point. Check this out. That was wild. I plugged it in, and the trigger mechanism had stuck in place. It's a really nice circle that it drew too. So yeah, this thing was stuck in place, and it took off on its own. So anyway, it is plugged in now, and it's not running until I pull the trigger again. So be careful when you're playing with tools. Let's see if we can cut this again, and let's see what happens. All right, there we go. All right. Well, that was gnarly. That blade gets super hot and it starts to wobble on you and it starts to warp a little bit. So I am going to now finish off with the cut, and then I'm going to get the sledgehammer out and start beating away at this stuff, and hopefully I've got it cut deep enough where it'll come out pretty clean. So underneath this entire deck, I think, underneath all this flagstone, I think is a solid bed of mortar, which blows my mind that they would do it that way. It was done like this when we bought the house, and we've lived in this house for, see, when did we move in here? 2003. So yes, we've lived in this house for literally almost 20 years, and it's been this way for 20 years. We wanted to change this backyard for a long time, and we're finally able to do it. And now we're realizing a lot of the stuff that was built was done a little bit different than we would do it, but it's done effective. And this flagstone's, it's been nice. It's been very resilient. We haven't had any issues with it. And it was done fairly well. It's just a little bit overkill for me. I think I would have probably just put it on a bed of sand or something like that, then filled it in. But hey, to each his own. It's just a little bit more for me to have to take out with the stuff that I do need to remove. Hopefully I won't have to remove too much. I'll be able to just cover it with the sand and be done. So, oh, the lights are on. Check this out. So the lights just came on because it's dark enough. So we have the lights on the deck. So all the way around, there's two lights. They're evenly spaced out all the way around. And then we have our lights that are for the perimeter lights. Those are kind of cool. And then we have the big spotlights that are super wide profile for our plants. And then we have the spotlight, which shines straight up, and it illuminates that palm tree. I'm going to take some video a little bit later so I can show you all what we got. Anyway, I'm going to keep cutting. Time to keep going. See ya. Okay, another exciting day of work. I started laying the travertine near the house, and I used that entire mound of sand to start building up to create the sand bed for the travertine, which is going to be sloped with the natural slope of the patio, and then it's going to continue the slope down the flagstone, which we're also going to leave as the base, which is going to go down to the fireplace base. Now, it's turned out pretty nice. We've gotten, I would say, maybe 180, 200 square feet done. And we started to fill it with sand, and our toughest hurdle was making sure that we stayed within just maybe an eighth to a quarter of an inch of the house. And we don't know whether the house deviates a little bit with the slab that was poured, because if it does, that's why we didn't want to go right up against the house. We wanted to gap it just a little bit, just in case that slab for the house, I guess, varied a little bit, maybe bowed in or bowed out. So I think we're going to be okay with that, because I would hate to have to pull all this back up and reassess and redo this. So we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We are going to finish this portion right here, not go too much further down there, because you can see that's a huge mess. We have to clean up quite a bit of stuff and move all that out. And we did not do anything down here yet, because we are going to need to throw a mortar line on the edge blocks. I did cut all of that out. The saw cut was done, obviously, you saw that. Then we just pulled all of the flagstone out. That's it. And the wheelbarrow. So that'll let us throw a mortar line down on those edge blocks leading to the fireplace. Other than that, we're just plugging away. Just plugging away one little block at a time, and then we're filling with sand. And it's pretty tight. So I think my father-in-law was saying get some play sand, which is a lot finer, and you can buy it in a couple little small bags from Lowe's or Home Depot. And he said throw that on here, and it's like powder, and it's not quite as granular, I guess. Is that a word? Yeah, I think that is a word, granular, which is maybe a little bit more coarse. So coarse would be a better word. It's not as coarse. So it's more of a powder fine play sand. We're going to use that probably to try to fill some of these gaps and keep it tighter. And other than that, we're just plugging away. I'm just going to keep throwing this stuff down. I'm not doing this a conventional way because we are having to kind of play with the natural curves and bends and slopes, high spots and low spots in our existing patio pour. We found that we can't just screed out a huge area because there's high spots and low spots, and then we can see it in the travertine. So what we're doing is we're just throwing out shovelfuls of sand, and then I'm going through, I know that's not the proper use of that tool, that is a grout tool, and I'm just spreading it out with the grout tool and getting as close as I can to where I think it needs to be. Then I try to lay the travertine tile down, and if I need to reassess, pull out some sand or put more in, I do it. And I do that for each one. It's probably not the traditional way of doing it, and it's probably going to take me a little bit longer to do this way than it would for a professional team to come in. They would probably be done by now. I'm assuming that's true. So I'm going to go ahead, without further ado, I'm just going to keep plugging away, and I got to get busy or I'm never going to get this done. So stay tuned. Watch more. See ya.